Smartphones. For many people, the revolution of smartphones is having these little computers fit right in our pockets. But for me, the real revolution is always being reachable from anywhere. Your car breaks down from a remote location? Not a problem. Forgot your grocery list at home like I always do? You're just one call away from knowing exactly what to buy. You can receive calls and text messages from virtually anywhere, all thanks to cellular connectivity. Now, take that same logic and apply it to security cameras. Cameras that are always connected, cameras that are independent. They have location freedom, operating anywhere there's cellular coverage. They're easy to set up because most of them are wireless, often solar or battery powered, or even both in some cases, meaning no complicated cables to install, and they all rely on a stable, reliable connectivity method, cellular. So what makes the best cellular security cameras in 2025? And this is what we'll be looking at today. First off, cellular security cameras are mostly used in off-grid sites or on temporary location like a construction site. Why? Well, you literally drill the camera in place and it's already recording. No need for cables, no need for internet, no need for external power. And this leads to what to look for when buying a cellular security camera. So first point that you need to check out before buying is about the efficient power management. And by this I mean having a strong battery life that is ideally supported by a solar panel. So always make sure that if the solar panel is not embedded in the camera, that you actually have the option to buy an external solar panel, because you need to refresh that battery life. If you only have battery, it means your camera will shut down eventually and you have to do the maintenance. And in addition to that is also looking at the application itself, if you can change the settings to upgrade the battery life. Again, this is for you to not always go on site, change the battery and have some downtime in your monitoring. Next is about the build quality of your camera, because when we're talking about cellular security camera, most of the time they are outdoor installs. So you need a weather resistant design. So we're talking IP65 or higher. And when you have that type of ingress protection, it means it will withstand outdoor conditions such as extreme temperature, dust, rain, and even snow. Again, you make sure your camera stays functional in any type of scenario. And now it's about advanced smart features. So when we're talking about AI detection, because chances are that you're not there with your camera. Maybe you install it at a cottage, a construction site. So it's in a remote location where you don't have always access. So you don't want to receive a bunch of false alarm because it's raining or it's snowing, and then you have these notifications on your phone because you're not there to actually look at the scenario and fully understand what's going on. And since, again, going back to the battery life, the more events you receive, so the more triggers that happens on the camera, it will drain your battery life. That's why having some advanced smart features that you can control is essential when we're looking at cellular security cameras. And last but not least, similar idea with the AI is that you're not there for your camera, so it's about maintenance. So having a user-friendly mobile application where you can do remote monitoring and also updates on your camera. So this way, you're far away from your camera, but you still have access to the camera itself, you have access to the different settings, and it just makes life easier. So if you keep these 4 aspects in mind, you get the best cellular camera on the market. And now, let's look at our top 5. First off, we're looking at the Vosker VKX camera. So this camera is 100% wireless. It's super easy to install. So we will play a clip right here so you can see the installation process. So it's not the VKX, but all Vosker cameras operate the same way. Super easy to install, as you can see, because it comes with all the accessories. So as you can see, we have the mount right here, and all you need is a couple of screws. You plug it in, you hang up the camera, and it's already rolling. So it's a secured bracket that comes with it. And also this camera has a 14,000 milliamp hour battery, that is right in front, so really accessible if you need to charge it. And what's particular about Vosker is actually the embedded solar panel. So right on top of the camera, you have a solar panel without bezels, so it's a flat surface, so there's no residue accumulation when it's, for example, raining or during fall where there's leaf falling off. It will just slide on the solar panel, making sure you get all that sunlight to help the battery life. And they claim it will run up to 6 months, so using the battery and the solar panel, so it gives you enough time to just go on and change the battery if needed, or just charge this one. Again, this is a 2 megapixel resolution camera. It comes with a preloaded SIM card, which is kind of unique in this industry. So Vosker provides the best provider for you, so you don't have to go and shop around for your SIM card provider. It also includes a 32 gig micro SD card. And what I wanted to talk about, so what's special about Vosker is everything inside the application. So it's super user-friendly and it can really help you save battery life, which is super important when we're talking about cellular cameras. First off would be the scheduling. So inside the application, you can go in your camera and schedule different applications. So that means that if you want the camera to stop sending you events during a certain period of time, this is something you can do. So again, saving the battery life. You also have access to smart zones. So directly on your screen, you can draw a zone and make it so it only sends notification when a person comes in that zone. Again, you're able to, it's filtering all those events and making it customizable for your need. And not only that, but there's the VKX. So this model has the on-demand mode. So by default, most of Vosker cameras, the way it works, it will send you a motion preview of an event, and then you can request an HD photo or a 15-second video clip to actually see what's happening in front of the camera. But with on-demand mode on the VKX, this is something you can do at any time. So even if there's no event going on, you just want to see what's happening in front of the camera, you click on the app, you either request a photo or a clip, and this way you're able to monitor everything that's happening in front of your camera. And now we're talking about Vosker, and they're a manufacturer specializing in solar-powered cellular connected security cameras. So all the cameras they do have this type of technology. So solar embedded, battery inside, and you have a lot of different choices. This is something we reviewed also on our channel. So looking at the V300 Ultimate, so this one has a big external solar panel you can connect to the camera. And we've been meeting with Vosker at different type of events. They release some great new stuff, and honestly, just their application is super user-friendly, and it just proves all the points we mentioned earlier about having efficient battery life, user-friendly, good AI, so it's using Vosker AI Sense, so you can customize it for different types of vehicle. If it's in a construction site, it will also be able to recognize these type of vehicle, animal detection. You guys should check this out. Go on their website. They have some great products there. Next, we're looking at the Reolink TrackMix LTE. So this is special because it's a PTZ camera with AI-powered auto tracking. So a PTZ camera means that you have this 360 rotation on your lens, so you're able to monitor every side where you install it. And with auto tracking, so it can grab a person and follow them all the way to the other side of the picture. Not only that, but the TrackMix has a dual lens system. So you have one wide angle lens that gives you a big overview of what's happening, and you have one telephoto lens that do the auto zoom and tracking. And you can see both screens simultaneously on the app, so you're able to review this wide angle and this focus angle, so when following someone. Not only that, it is a 4K resolution with good night color performance. And what I wanted to talk about, so that's special about the TrackMix, is actually using the application. You have the live stream going on, but you also have full manual control. So when we're talking about PTZ, think about a little joystick so you can move around your camera, which is again really practical when you install it in a remote location. Because If you compare it to a fixed lens will focus always on the same place until you go and change it up. But with this, well, you're far from your cottage, your home, you want to see a different angle, you just use your cell phone, go on the app, and you can move your camera to monitor different sides. So this way you're really able to see everything that's going on, and if it catches a subject, it will follow it by default. Now, this one doesn't come with a solar panel, you need to buy it as an accessory. So just the battery, it will last up to 4 weeks. And keep in mind that also there is no SIM card included, so this is something you would have to buy on your site. And now this one looks like the Reolink, but is actually different. It's the Eufy 4G Cam S330. So it is a PTZ with AI auto tracking, so same setup, it follows a target. It has a 4K resolution, and one of the main different things, actually there's two things, is the connectivity. So you have an LTE connection, but you also have a Wi-Fi connection. So let's say you install it in your cottage. Well, you can put in the Wi-Fi by default, and if it goes down, then it will jump automatically to the LTE connection. And what's kind of unique about this Eufy camera is the storage. It uses an 8 GB internal encrypted storage. And I understand their logic. It's because since it's a camera made for off-grid location, they're scared that if someone just comes and steals your cameras. Because in other cameras, you have the SD card, so people could take your footage and you review them by themselves. So using the Eufy 4G Cam S330, they cannot do that. It's encrypted. You only have access to this information, which makes sense. And it's honestly a pretty nice feature. And if you want to have more storage, well, you can have the home base that they provide. So this is an additional thing you can buy. But with this, you can have up to 16 terabytes of data. So you don't need to buy any SD card with this. I promise it will be more than enough. This comes with an included solar panel. The battery will last up to 1 month without the sun, but they claim that it will run indefinitely when you have the sunlight on your solar panel. And keep in mind, and this is for all the cameras, it's always recommended to place your solar panel to the south. So this is the angle where you will get the most sunlight throughout the day. Next, the two other cameras are a bit different from the first one we just showcased, starting with the Arlo Go 2. The reason is because it's a great first camera for new users. You don't have to run any cables. It's good for residential, it's good for non-permanent installs. So if you have an apartment or even in your RV, you can just install this camera and it's already rolling. And honestly guys, it's 1 pound. It's you just put 2 screws and it will hang from the wall and do its job. So like the Eufy camera, it has a dual mode of Wi-Fi and LTE. The Arlo Go 2 also has a two-way audio. That means that if someone is in front of your camera, you can speak with them. So you can hear them and you can also communicate with them. It has a built-in siren for deterrence, 1080p resolution, super user-friendly app, and the battery life, so it doesn't have a solar panel, but the battery life is up to 3 months. But again, this one is a little bit different because I think this camera is mostly used for residential purposes. So that means that you always have access to the camera. So it's pretty easy to just go, charge the battery, put it back, and yes, there will be some downtime, but you're there, you're at your place. So it's not if it was a construction site that you have to travel to or even a cottage. So that makes sense for us. But again, using the Arlo Go 2, keep in mind that there's a subscription fee that you need to pay to have their full AI package. Last but not least, and this one is special, it's the Milesight SP111. Dare I say professional grade LTE camera. By professional, it's not that the others are not professional, it's more professional in the common sense of the security industry. And you'll understand as I mention all the different features, because first off, it supports OnViv. So it works with third-party VMS systems. So if you're already using a VMS system, you can include this camera on your site, no problem. It has a 4 megapixel sensor. It has AI video analytics such as human, vehicle, line crossing, and there's even another model, so using the same part number with an L, I believe, that supports LPR, so license plate recognition. So this is the type of camera you will not install in your cottage. This is really more for construction sites, highways, big parking lots in off-grid remote locations where you don't have access to a PoE switch for an Ethernet connection. But you don't have to worry because this has a modular battery system. You have 6 batteries inside of your camera. So it's crazy. It will continuously record and monitor a site up to 9 days straight. And this is the biggest difference because the other cameras, they work by event. So when there's an event, they record, and this is to save battery life. Again, makes total sense. But this camera, if you're plugging in on the NX Witness, which is something we did in another video using a Milesight camera, you're able to do a bunch of analytics, look on the timeline, and see all the different action that happen in this life circle of 9 days. Well, you have all the details in there. And not only that, but it comes with a solar panel, and Milesight claimed that, again, if you put it in the right spot and it gets the right amount of sunlight, it will run indefinitely. So you always have this continuous recording. And looking at the build, it is IP67 rated, so it's built like a tank. We had the chance to see it at ISC West. Again, it wouldn't fit on this table. Just the modular batteries, the solar panels, it's super big. That's why I say it's for specific application. And even about storage, well, you can have a micro SD card, you can use a network video recorder, you have cloud access, you have VMS support. So again, overkill for cottage, great for parking lot with remote locations. So with these 5 cameras, you have multiple choices for depending on your installation. And that's why we make these types of video. It's not just showcasing 5 of similar products. It's 5 products that perform really well in that category, but they all work in different scenarios. And now a special mention to a camera we saw at ISC West. It is the Insight S345 4G from VIGI by TP-Link. So this camera is coming soon. That's why it wasn't in the video today, but it offers an industry first 3 LAN ports enabling simultaneous connectivity for up to 3 devices as you need. It is ideal for coupling with solar power system to eliminate additional wiring deployments, and we're sure that when this camera release, we'll get our hands on it so you guys can see for yourself how it performs. I'm Jeremy from Pipl Systems. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see each other on the next one.